This is my review on a 1999 movie, Inspector Gadget, starring Matthew Broderick. I enjoyed this movie, look. This movie gets a bad rap by some people on the internet, and I don't think it's fair. Because the movie's ain't half bad. It's not great by any means, like a classic, you know? But it's not a terrible movie. It's a fine movie, like every fine majority of Marvel Studio movies come out by their main timeline. It's a good chunk of the Marvel Studio movies. It's as good as all the Marvel, all the Marvel Studio movies that come out of their main timeline. It's a good popcorn movie. It ain't bad. But it's funny. It has some good jokes in the movie. And it has one of the best ball crush jokes in cinema. Probably the best ball crush joke. Is when so in the movie Inspector Gadget, this is the origin story of Inspector Gadget, of how he becomes Inspector Gadget. It's based off the same show from back in the day, titled Inspector Gadget's cartoon show. Seen a few handfuls of the show episodes. It's called Inspector Gadget. The show was called, and this movie is a reimagining, or also reboot of the show. And starring Matthew Broderick as Inspector Gadget. And look, Matthew Broderick was never really a good actor, but he's fine in this movie. Is what I think. He's as good as he is in Ferris Bueller's Day Off as he is in all of his flicks. Passable, mediocre, forgettable performance at best. Bland charm. That's the role. So that's what his role is. To play as the same as all of his other roles. But I don't know why. I don't know why people ever thought he was a good actor or could act. Talking about Matthew Broderick still, acting skill, and lack of. And I enjoyed his presence as I like to enjoy the Inspector Gadget movie. And enjoy the ideas that they went for with the gags and the story bonkers and creative. And even though it's very loosely inspired by the show, obviously, just by even though me seeing only 2 episodes of the show, I can tell it's very loosely inspired by the show. It takes a new, different approach to the show's it definitely takes a different. It's definitely taking different. It's taking inspiration from some others. It was something from taking inspiration somewhere else was just the original ideas that goes for with the franchise of this movie, and like for example, in the show, Claw doesn't have a lobster hand, a robotic lobster hand. He has like a regular hand that's covered, that looks like it's just covered with wearing armor. In the show of the Inspector Gadget, based on what I've seen of this show, and I don't know why they decide to make Claw more ridiculous than he was in the show. That's what it feels like. The Claw, the villain, and the whole premise, how it takes the show, it's even more ridiculous premise than the show took. with everything. Like it takes a more absurd route than the show with this logic and telling a story, you know? And it's world building. But this movie isn't half bad. It's fine. I give it a 8 out of 10, this movie, Inspector Gadget, from 1999 movie called Inspector Gadget starring Matthew Broderick. It has its problems, but so does every Iron Man movie with Robert Downey Jr. And people like those on the internet. And you can trust the online critics on the internet like Jeremy Johnson to... Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can trust some online critics that think the Iron Man movies are good. Like, I'm sure some online critics really think the Iron Man movies are good. Like, I don't know, some online critics like Jeremy Johnson thinks the Iron Man 3 is a good movie. But then again, this online YouTuber, Jeremy Johnson, also thought the last Airbender movie from 2010 was a good movie. And he never reposted it. Never did a different review on it. And as far as he only did like one review on the last Airbender 2, something that was a good movie. Well, now the last Airbender movie, that movie's terrible. I'm going to talk about that movie in this video once I finish talking about this movie, Inspector Gadget. I give Inspector Gadget 8 out of 10. It's a good popcorn flick, guilty pleasure, fun ride of a film. I recommend this movie to don't think too hard and try not to think at all what you're feeling and thinking so stupid in the movie, because all of it's stupid. But then again, isn't Iron Man stupid with Robert Downey? Considering his Iron Man is probably the most nicest version of the Iron Man character from ever made in history, and the blandest Tony Stark imaginable. More bland than the Tony Stark from the 90s cartoon titled Iron Man. Personally, I thought that Tony Stark was better Tony Stark than Robert Downey's Tony Stark. Because I always thought Robert Downey's Tony Stark was just the nicest soul variant that they made. I didn't like Tony Stark when it was played by Robert Downey. Never did as a kid. And it's time I come up with that why I think I don't like him. I hate him more than John Leguizamo as Luigi from the Mario Brothers movie, and I hate him more than Matthew Broderick as Inspector Gadget. Him as Iron Man. I like Iron Man as much as I like Inspector Gadget role with Robert Downey. It's a good thing that Matthew Broderick has his common sense to play Inspector Gadget only one time. Robert Downey had to play it with the same shit role multiple times of Iron Man. And that's why I give Inspector Gadget an 8 out of 10. And why it's a fun, decent movie. Like Iron Man was. Trilogy with Robert Downey. Even though I really couldn't care less about the main protagonist and wanted him rather him eat a leech and die eating the leech. I wish he would choke to death on a leech, the main character of Iron Man from Iron Man Marvel Studios, by Robert Downey playing him. Like, I wish Matthew Broderick's Inspector Gadget would die in this movie. Anyway, now I'm reviewing the 2010 Last Airbender movie. I give her, this movie, a 3 out of 10. I hate this movie that much to give it a 3 out of 10. I give the last Airbender movie from 2010 a 3 out of 10. To say it's a fucking movie because I just hate everything about this movie to give it a 3 out of 10. Because I just hate everything about this movie. I hate a lot of the dialogues in this movie, the scenes within the dialogue. And this dialogue's laughable, like the guy who plays Zuko is giving this dialogue saying, "This food's delicious, but we could die out here." And that's like how he's delivered the little dialogue. It's just hilarious. Like everyone's drinking their own piss and getting piss. It feels like in writing the script. It feels like they put the bare minimum of effort into making a good movie. I hate this movie that fucking much. I hate how they mispronounce, they rewrite all the characters' name for the canon of this movie, the main characters. And they retcon a bunch of lore and change the lore from the show. And the lore, and how they explain the lore of the Avatar, even though they change the name to Avatar, it's not called the Avatar in the movie of 2010. And how they explain the lore makes fucking any sense, does it? I don't think so. I don't think it makes any sense. How they explain it, the new lore in the movie makes fucking any sense. If you can make sense to the lore, good luck. Because I can't make sense of anything in this movie. Fuck me. And I hate the fact that this movie has a narration and dialogue on the screen. And we're getting dialogue explained to us that says the same dialogue on the screen in the opening of the movie. How retarded does the audience think, does this movie think we are? We're not stupid, movie! Is what I'm thinking to myself. How stupid does this movie think I am? I'm not stupid. Not enough to, I need the dialogue to be explained that's on the screen. I mean, and that's after the opener, like the opener was the show. Like, you know, introducing all of the 4 elements of the show before introducing the Avatar and explaining who he is and what it is and the lore and stuff. But in this time, instead of getting more cool visual, we get a little writing on the screen, and we get explained from Katara, the girl who plays Katara of the movie from 2010, last Airbender flick. Oh my god, why are they played by white kids? Why is Katara and Sokka played by white kids, and so is Aang played by a white kid? It looks scary to me. Everything looks horrifying. The choices are questionable, bad. And the visuals are uncanny, horrifying. And why does Appa look like he's part bison and part... Why does Appa look scary now to me in live action? Is it because he tried to, it looks like, is it because he tried to make him in live action and tried to go with what he would look like, because it looks like they couldn't decide on to go with the cartoon look from the cartoon, but it looks like they also want to do their own thing with the legs. And why does he have like millipede skinny legs now, Appa? He has barely any fur on his legs. It looks creepy to me. He doesn't have any fur on his legs anymore in the live action movie. Like that's different than the show. And it looks scary and wrong. It looks like you're trying to make him up a kind of. It doesn't look cute anymore. It looks horrifying. So does Momo. Aang's other pet from the franchise gets introduced to the movie later in the movie once he comes to realize he's the last of his kind and goes to visit the last air temple that was Aang's old home before Fire Nation burned it down and killed everyone, including his father figure. That was also his father figure in the show. And, okay, I really hate this movie. This is bringing up negative feelings for me, okay? And, oh, so many hates in this movie. I hate this movie a lot. I hate this movie a lot. I hate everything about this movie. I hate the score. I hate the soundtrack. I hate how, like, the soundtrack sounds like Nightmare Fuel music soundtrack. Like, everything about this movie that came out of the movie feels like something from my nightmares. This movie, all the images in the movie is basically nightmare fuel. And something that's supposed to be marketed to kids. Yeah, the movie is still marketed as PG, not PG-13. Which is probably why nobody dies in this movie. Or shown to die. Or why they show the bare minimum of action of bending from the benders in the movie, including the Avatar himself. Because they just, for some reason, they just did it. So, I mean, I always thought it was kind of weird how most movies, when it comes to live action versus cartoon, they can't really push the envelope as much when it comes to live action crap. When it comes to treating the audience like mature, thinking, rational human beings. And so they have to dumb it down and treat you more like retarded rejects. With the world-building logic. And the last Airbender movie is one of those movies. It's one of those movies that doesn't really push the envelope and treat you like a rational human being that you can think for yourself. No, it treats you like you're fucking retarded and you need to be put on a leash and told what to do and belong in a fascist country ruled by Hitler. Is what it treats you like. Because this treats you like you're stupid and everything's stupid. It just feels stupid on top of stupid. This movie, The Last Airbender from 2010. That's why I give The Last Airbender from 2010 a 3 out of 10. I don't recommend this movie, so I recommend you don't see this movie. But some of you probably aren't going to listen to me, so why bother recommending not seeing this movie? I'm not going to tell you not going to see it. I'm not going to warn you not to see it. I'm just going to say I don't recommend seeing this movie. I'm not going to tell you guys not to don't see it, because you're probably just going to want to see it anyway more. If probably just going to want to see it either way, it's going to be. Some of you probably want to see it either way out of curiosity. So this movie, I don't recommend it. But don't listen to me if you don't want to. If you don't want to see it, if you want to see it and don't want to listen to me, so. That's my review on the last Airbender from 2010 and why I give it a 3 out of 10. I hate this movie. Hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to grow my subscribers so I can grow my channel more. And hit the comment below. Let me know if you saw this review. And comment below if you liked my video, or that was insightful or something, or entertaining, or what my video, did you enjoy it by any means, or comment below, let me know if you enjoyed my video, or, yeah, let me know if you enjoyed one of these movies, and if you enjoyed The Last Airbender from 2010, see a shrink, probably. Or a therapist. If you're gonna find a good one, I don't know. Are those the same things I forget? Okay. So get help if you like The Last Airbender movie from 2010. Sorry, that sounded mean. Then it did in my head. I'm going in this video now because I really don't like this movie. And I'm done making the video now. I don't like The Last Airbender movie from 2010. I give the movie a 3 out of 10. I hate this movie. And that's my review on Inspector Gadget from 1999 movie and 2010 movie of The Last Airbender, based on that's a reimagined reboot of the Nickelodeon Last Airbender show titled Avatar's Last Airbender, but didn't use the correct pronunciation for Avatar in the movie or in the title of the movie. That was always weird, I thought, and stupid. And when this movie thinks, oh, and the last end of the movie sets up for a sequel, and saves the villain for a sequel, and sets up for a sequel, teases a sequel, that will never come. Thank God. The fucking Lord. Thank the fucking Lord that this never happened, a sequel to this movie. Because this movie sucked. Okay? Last Airbender movie from 2010 sucked. That's my review. My video on Last Airbender and Inspector Gadget movie. Goodbye, my audience.